The question I get on a daily basis right now is, can you work and homeschool your kids at the same time? More families now than ever are looking to provide income while providing for their child's education. And it can feel overwhelming and a daunting task. And I'm here to tell you it can be done. But I'm also here to give you some practical advice on what you can do to make this a reality, how you can make the process smoother. Now, I'm just one mom with one particular working situation and scenario. I work on YouTube here full time. It's about 30 to 40 hours a week that I put into my YouTube website and preparing for speaking engagements and things like that. It's a lot of work, but my schedule is very flexible. I can make my own hours. I set my own goals for those things. Not all parents have that situation. So I decided to reach out to 4 other mamas who homeschool and do a fantastic job balancing both the work life and the homeschooling life. And so I asked them if they could share their favorite tip, their number one tip that they would give you as homeschooling parents to make it work with trying to bring in an income and educate your kids. So let's get started. The first tip may seem basic, but I promise it's something we have to cover before we can get into anything else. And that is understanding that we don't have to be stuck in a box when it comes to our homeschooling. Many of us are used to thinking of schooling looking a certain way, happening during certain hours, but really we've got to be a little bit flexible and get creative with our homeschooling and our work schedules in order to make both of these work hand in hand. So you need to look at your homeschool laws. Some states require a certain amount of days per year or a certain amount of hours in a year. However, to my knowledge, there is 0 states out there that require you to homeschool specific days of the week or specific hours within the day. So give yourself the freedom to think outside the box. Maybe with your work schedule, you need to homeschool primarily on the weekends, or maybe in the evenings. You can change up your homeschool schedule and it can look a little bit different each day and you'll find your new normal. So don't be afraid to get creative with it. You also need to remember that our entire lives is a classroom, right? We want to create a learning environment and not just simply bookwork. So just because your child may not be doing their school while you're at work, they can still be learning. Let's jump into some more tips. First, we're gonna hear from my friend Olivia, who has a great tip when it comes to kind of getting on the same page as a family.
Hey guys, my name is Olivia Hayes and I actually homeschool both of my kids. I have a 13-year-old and I have a 6-year-old. In addition to homeschooling them, I also work as a digital marketing consultant, and my husband also works inside the home while we're homeschooling. So as far as a good tip for balancing homeschool and working from home, my number one tip is definitely communication. So for us, what that looks like is having a shared calendar somewhere where everybody can see if I have a meeting or if I have some time blocked off to work on something, everybody in the family knows. Right now we're using a digital calendar. We used to have a physical one out, on the fridge where everybody could see it. And I just find that when I communicate, when I need those times, whether it's a client-facing time or a working time, when I communicate those and schedule those and stick to those, put them in a place that everybody knows. Same thing goes for my husband. When he has important calls, he communicates that with us, and I just find that that makes the day go much smoother and allows everybody to get their school and work done. So I hope that tip was helpful. You can find me online at The Mama Marketer on Facebook or Instagram, and thank you to my friend Katie for asking me to do this.
All right, so when you work and you school from home, you are gonna have even more to-do list things to add to your daily list than you had before. Now, how can you conquer that list? How can you feel like you can stay on top of it? Well, the truth is you can't get it all done. That's just a reality. So what I recommend doing is at the top of your to-do list, listing out 3 to maybe 6 things, tops, that are the absolute most important to get done that day. You never want your child's education to suffer because of your work schedule, but you do need income to provide for your children. So you are constantly following that balance. So one way that makes it easier is just the night before to list out 3 to 6 items that you're gonna tackle the next day. Does that mean you're only 3 to 6 items you're gonna get done? Absolutely not. But it means that it helps you to focus in and zero in on those things that are most important. For everything else that doesn't fall in that most important urgent category, I recommend putting it onto your to-do list in categories of types of tasks. So errands to run, emails to send, phone calls to make, or maybe it's posts that need to be posted on social media or items that need to be created. Obviously, it depends on you and your particular job on what this might look like, but this will help you to really divide your time well. I can sit down and make a series of phone calls or a series of emails at one time if that is the one task I'm focusing on. If I'm trying to bounce back and forth between making an email here and then a phone call there, and then I've got to go over here and run this errand, and I'm bouncing back and forth, it's really going to stretch your time in a way that's not going to be the most productive. So really would recommend that. Now here is another tip when it comes to how to use your time.
Hi, I am Dr. Melanie Wilson. I am the author and publisher of Grammar Galaxy Elementary Language Arts Curriculum. I have been homeschooling my 6 kids for over 20 years. And my tip for you on how to make homeschooling and working possible is to have a singular focus. So if you are going to be working, make sure that you have a boundary in place and your family knows that you are not to be interrupted unless it is urgent. And of course, you have to make sure that your kids are being managed and occupied while you're working. And then when you are focused on your kids, don't try to work at the same time. Having that specific time boundary in place for each of your activities will help you to get so much more accomplished and feel so much better about your time with your family. And your family will really appreciate that as well. If you are interested in more tips like this, you can check out my book, A Year of Living Productively.
One thing that's been immensely helpful in our homeschool day has been our breakfast stations. And we have it set up such that breakfast is self-serve. And this has been huge because I spend the mornings before we jump into our school day focusing on my work, and then they can get their breakfast and all of those things. And when they're done with that, then we can stop what we're doing and come together to work on school. Now, you may want to know, what is this whole breakfast station thing and how does it work? It sounds great, but what does it actually look like and what do you have set up for it? You can check that out in my video that's coming out on Wednesday. So be sure to subscribe right now before you do anything else. Click the little bell notification so that you will be notified when that video comes out, because I promise it's a game changer.
Hello guys, it's Kristy over here with Ethnic Green Living, and for about 8 years I was a licensed child care provider, and so full-time, sometimes in that one period of time, 60 hours a week, I took care of other children in my home as well as my own children, and I homeschool them. Currently, I am working outside the home on the weekends, and I am being an aid for elderly, just showing them love, compassion, care, and doing whatever I can do to make their days a little bit sweet. So the one tip I would want to share with you guys to make it all work, because I'm pretty organized and I try to be scheduled and on top of everything, is to plan. However, no matter how perfect your plans are, no matter how perfect your meal prep and all those things are, I believe if you don't take care of yourself first, you will burn out and you cannot take care of everyone else. So what I suggest is that you make time for you every day. If it can be 30 minutes a day, perfect. Go ahead and read your Bible or some inspirational motivation book, showers or baths, skincare, aromatherapy, exercise, yoga. It's so important for you to go ahead and eat healthy foods and get plenty of water, because without this self-care, you will crash. And I want you whole. I know that your family needs and wants you whole, and you need to be whole for your job. So my tip to doing it all is self-care. Take care of yourself, mamas.
I think another thing that is very, very, very important when it comes to homeschooling and working is to really be careful about your selection when it comes to your homeschooling curriculum. You don't want to do something that's going to be insanely teacher intensive if your job is going to constantly be pulling you in different directions. Now, like I said, I'm flexible with my work schedule. I'm able to work in the mornings before the kids wake up, in the evenings after they go to bed, and occasionally here or there when they're awake, but that gives me plenty of flexibility, so I don't have to be quite as careful. However, I do only teach certain subjects as being teacher intensive, and the other ones I choose to be independent. So like I use teaching textbooks for my kiddos when it comes to their math curriculum because it teaches it for them on the computer, it grades it, it corrects it for them, and it pretty much can just hand that off. That's something that I feel like is okay for me to hand off. For reading, I do pick a more intensive program for that for some of my kiddos because that is something that's sort of the basis of a lot of their education. So you're just picking and choosing instead of having everything be intensive. It doesn't mean your child has to be online schooling for everything, but it does mean they can't be hands-on with you for everything. So just pick and choose wisely.
Hi, I'm Val Harrison, the Practically Speaking Mom, and I have 7 children. 5 of them I have graduated from my homeschool. 3 of them are married. I have 2 grandkids, and I've been homeschooling for 23 years. That whole time, I've also been a business owner. I've sold Mary Kay for all of those years, or just nearly all of those years. I've earned 4 free cars with that. And then I also have a speaking ministry called The Practically Speaking Mom. I have a podcast called Practically Speaking Mom, Intentional Mom, Strong Family, and then blog posts and books and lots of things like that. So definitely work has had to be a part of my life. So how have I done that? And so number one, taking God as the lead in your business and your home. It's essential. He knows what you need for your day, and he doesn't want us to do any more than the things he has planned for us. So I have a prayer that I say every morning. Lord, make me passionate about your purposes in this day and give me peace about the things you don't want me to get done. Because we can't get it done, moms. We can't get it all done. We only need to get done what he has for us that day. And so that's the number one thing, is let God lead your business as he leads your family. You definitely have got to be about systems. And so just one system at a time, you want to add some, because for every system you create, that frees up not just your time, but it also frees up your mind from decision making. So whenever I'm doing something for my business, I ask myself, is this something duplicatable? And if it is, what is a system I can create with it? For example, we talk about my ministry. I have books that, in fact, this one, Wearing All Your Hats Without Wearing Out, will help you in creating your systems. And so let's say that someone ordered a book from me, and so I need to pack it. I grab my packaging bag, okay? And it's got everything I need, from tissue to cute little stickers to the mailing address labels to if it's something that I can put stamps on, then stamps. My Sharpie is in there. Everything I need to totally get it done. Because I could spend a lot of time running here and getting the scissors and running over there and looking for what did I do with the stickers? What did I do with the stamps? And that kind of thing takes up a lot of time. So create a system and then stick with it. So I would just encourage you to do those things. There's so much more I want to tell you about systems. In fact, I put some of them in this book, Gaining Momentum, Preparing Your Student for a Career with or Without College. It's got some of my success habits in it because we want to be teaching our kids those success habits for life, right? We want to be preparing them for life, of course. And so we start with having good success habits, and we teach our kids to have good success habits. Thank you so much for this time to spend with you. I hope to see you on our personal group, Facebook group, Intentional Mom, Strong Family, or join in my blog or my podcast at practicallyspeakingmom.com. Thanks so much.
So as you can see, this can work a lot of different ways for a lot of different families. And I hope that you will be encouraged that you can do this. You can homeschool and you can work and bring in income for your family. But You just need to get creative, and you just need to think through some of those logistics ahead of time. If this video has been helpful, please comment down below. And like I said, be sure to subscribe because we have a lot of other videos coming up, like our homeschool breakfast station and explaining how that works. We also are going to be talking some more about Grammar Galaxy. I was so glad that we were able to have Melanie Wilson on today, and we're going to be doing a full review, what you should know before buying Grammar Galaxy next week, so you're not going to want to miss out on that, as well as so many other great videos coming up soon. So be sure to stick around, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.